Whispers on the wind, the enduring allure of witches. The word witch evokes a myriad of images. We might picture a cloaked figure silhouetted against the moon, cauldron bubbling with mysterious concoctions. Or perhaps we envision a wise woman gathering herbs in the forest, her knowledge passed down through generations. Witches have captivated our imaginations for centuries. They are shrouded in mystery, feared and revered in equal measure. Their story is a tapestry woven from history, folklore, and the enduring human fascination with the unknown. From ancient civilizations to modern society, the concept of witches has evolved. It has been shaped by cultural beliefs, religious dogma, and personal interpretations. But one thing remains constant: the enduring allure of the witch. Whether viewed as a powerful sorceress or a cunning manipulator, the witch continues to hold a unique place in our collective consciousness. This essay will delve into the captivating world of witches. We will explore their origins, unravel the truth behind the myths, and examine their lasting impact on our world. Join us as we embark on a journey through history, folklore, and belief to uncover the mystique of witches. Ancient echoes. Witchcraft in the cradle of civilization. The origins of witchcraft can be traced back to the dawn of civilization, where the earliest humans began to form communities and develop their understanding of the world. In ancient societies, where nature held sway and the unknown loomed large, people sought ways to understand and influence the forces around them. They observed the cycles of the moon, the changing seasons, and the patterns of the stars, seeking to find meaning and control in a world that often seemed unpredictable and mysterious. Witchcraft, with its blend of ritual, herbalism, and spiritual practices, offered a way to connect with the unseen world. It provided a framework for understanding the natural and supernatural forces that shaped their lives, from the growth of crops to the health of their families. Ancient Egypt provides some of the earliest evidence of magical practices. The Egyptians believed in a complex pantheon of gods and goddesses, each with their own powers and domains, and they developed intricate rituals to honor and appease these deities. Priests and priestesses were skilled in the arts of divination, healing, and protection, their knowledge carefully guarded and passed down through generations. They used amulets, spells, and incantations to invoke the gods' favor and protect their people from harm. These individuals held a position of great power and respect in Egyptian society. They were not only religious leaders but also advisors to the pharaohs, playing a crucial role in the governance and spiritual life of the nation. They were seen as intermediaries between the human and divine realms, capable of interpreting the will of the gods and ensuring that the proper rituals were performed to maintain cosmic order. In ancient Greece, oracles and seers played a vital role in religious and political life. The most famous of these was the Oracle of Delphi, where the priestess Pythia would enter a trance and deliver prophecies believed to be inspired by the god Apollo. These individuals, often women, were believed to possess the ability to communicate with the gods and predict the future. Their pronouncements were sought by everyone from common citizens to kings, who would travel great distances to seek their guidance. Their pronouncements could influence the outcome of battles and the course of history. Generals would consult oracles before going to war, and their advice could determine the strategies and decisions that shaped the fate of entire nations. The Romans too had their share of magical practitioners. While Roman law officially condemned magic, it flourished in the shadows, with people turning to sorcerers and witches for various needs. While Roman law officially condemned magic, it flourished in the shadows. Secretive practices and underground rituals were common, as people sought to harness supernatural powers for personal gain or protection. People turned to sorcerers and witches for love spells, curses, and healing potions. These magical practitioners offered services that ranged from the mundane to the extraordinary, promising to solve problems that seemed beyond the reach of ordinary means. The belief in magic was widespread, permeating all levels of Roman society. From the highest echelons of power to the everyday lives of common citizens, magic was an integral part of the cultural fabric. These ancient civilizations provide a glimpse into the early roots of witchcraft. Their practices and beliefs laid the foundation for the magical traditions that would evolve and spread throughout the world. They demonstrate the enduring human desire to understand and influence the world around us through ritual, belief, and a connection to the unseen. This desire has persisted through the ages, shaping the way we interact with the mysteries of existence and the forces that govern our lives. Fires of Fear, the European witch hunts and the Salem trials. This chapter delves into one of the most harrowing periods in history, where fear and superstition led to widespread persecution and death. The late Middle Ages and early modern period witnessed a dark chapter in the history of witchcraft, the European witch hunts. These hunts spanned across various regions, from the British Isles to the heart of the Holy Roman Empire, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. Fueled by religious fervor, social upheaval, and a potent mix of fear and superstition, these hunts targeted individuals, primarily women, accused of practicing witchcraft. The fear of the unknown and the need to find a scapegoat for societal problems made these accusations all too common. The reasons behind the witch hunts were complex and multifaceted. They were not merely the result of religious zeal, but also a reflection of the turbulent social and political landscape of the time. The Catholic Church, grappling with internal dissent and the rise of Protestantism, sought to reassert its authority. This period of religious conflict created an environment where accusations of witchcraft could be used to eliminate rivals and consolidate power. Witchcraft, associated with heresy and devil worship, became a convenient scapegoat. The church and state used these accusations to control the populace and divert attention from their own failings. Social anxieties, exacerbated by famine, disease, and war, further fueled the flames of persecution. In times of crisis, people often look for someone to blame, and those accused of witchcraft became easy targets. Accusations of witchcraft could be leveled at anyone, regardless of social standing. However, the most vulnerable in society were often the ones who suffered the most. Women, particularly those who were elderly, widowed, or living on the fringes of society, were especially vulnerable. Their marginal status made them easy targets for accusations, and their lack of social power left them defenseless. Torture was often used to extract confessions, and those found guilty faced horrific punishments, including burning at the stake. The methods of torture were brutal and inhumane, designed to break the spirit and force admissions of guilt. The Salem witch trials, which took place in colonial Massachusetts in the late 17th century, stand as a chilling example of the devastating consequences of mass hysteria and religious extremism. This small Puritan community became a hotbed of paranoia and fear, leading to tragic outcomes. Fueled by fear, superstition, and personal vendettas, the trials resulted in the execution of 20 innocent individuals. The trials were marked by a lack of due process and a rush to judgment, with devastating consequences for those accused. The European witch hunts and the Salem trials serve as stark reminders of the dangers of intolerance, fear-mongering, and the abuse of power. They highlight how easily societies can be led astray by fear and how quickly justice can be subverted. They stand as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable cruelty and injustice. Despite the horrors of these events, they also remind us of the importance of vigilance and compassion in safeguarding our communities from similar fates in the future. Shadows and secrets, witch sightings and folklore across cultures. Throughout history, the figure of the witch has been a source of fascination, fear, and intrigue. From ancient times to the present day, stories of witches have permeated cultures around the world, each with its own unique twist on what it means to be a witch. Beliefs about witches and their practices vary widely across cultures and time periods. In some societies, witches are seen as malevolent beings who use their powers to harm others, while in others, they are revered as wise healers and protectors of the natural world. From the cunning witches of European folklore to the benevolent healers of some indigenous traditions, the image of the witch is multifaceted and often contradictory. In Europe, the witch was often depicted as a sinister figure, capable of casting curses and communing with dark forces. Meanwhile, in many indigenous cultures, those with knowledge of the natural world and healing practices were respected and sought after for their wisdom. In many cultures, witches are associated with the natural world. They are often depicted as living on the fringes of society, in forests or remote areas, where they can be close to the plants and animals they work with. This connection to nature is a common theme in witch folklore, emphasizing their role as guardians of ancient knowledge. They are believed to possess an intimate knowledge of herbs, plants, and the cycles of nature. This knowledge is not just about healing physical ailments, but also about understanding the spiritual properties of plants and their uses in rituals and spells. Ancient herbarium books and grimoires often contain detailed descriptions of these practices, passed down through generations. This knowledge might be used for healing, divination, or in some cases, to inflict harm. The dual nature of witchcraft, its potential for both good and evil, reflects the complex human relationship with the unknown. In some stories, witches are seen as protectors, using their powers to ward off evil spirits and bring good fortune. In others, they are feared for their ability to curse and cause misfortune. Folklore often depicts witches as possessing magical powers, such as the ability to shapeshift, control the weather, or cast spells. These abilities are often seen as both a gift and a curse, setting witches apart from ordinary people and making them objects of both awe and fear. Shapeshifting in particular is a common theme, with witches transforming into animals to escape detection or to carry out their magical work. These powers are often attributed to pacts with supernatural entities, such as demons or fairies. In many tales, witches gain their abilities through a deal with a powerful otherworldly being, trading their soul or service for magical knowledge. This idea of a pact highlights the perceived danger and moral ambiguity of witchcraft, suggesting that such power comes at a great cost. Tales of witch sightings and encounters abound in folklore and mythology. These stories often serve to explain the unexplainable, attributing strange occurrences and misfortunes to the actions of witches. In some cultures, witch sightings are a common part of the oral tradition, with each generation adding its own details and embellishments to the tales. These stories, passed down through generations, often reflect cultural anxieties and beliefs about the unknown. They serve as a way for communities to make sense of the world around them, to explain the inexplicable, and to pass on important moral lessons. Storytelling around a fire, for example, is a common setting for these tales, creating a sense of mystery and wonder. They serve as cautionary tales, reminding people of the potential dangers lurking in the shadows. These stories often feature warnings about straying too far from the safety of the village or trusting strangers, using the figure of the witch as a symbol of the unknown and the potentially dangerous. While some cultures view witches with fear and suspicion, others regard them with respect and even reverence. The way witches are perceived can vary greatly depending on the cultural context and the specific traditions and beliefs of a community. In some places, witches are seen as wise women or men who provide valuable services, while in others they are hunted and persecuted. In some indigenous traditions, healers and shamans fulfill roles similar to those attributed to witches in other cultures. These individuals are often seen as intermediaries between the physical and spiritual worlds, using their knowledge and abilities to help their communities. They perform rituals, offer guidance, and use their understanding of the natural world to heal and protect. These individuals are revered for their wisdom, their connection to the spirit world, and their ability to heal both physical and spiritual ailments. Their practices are deeply rooted in the traditions and beliefs of their cultures, and they are often seen as the keepers of ancient knowledge and customs. The diverse beliefs and practices associated with witches across cultures highlight the complex and often contradictory nature of human beliefs about magic, the supernatural, and the unseen world. Whether feared or revered, witches occupy a unique place in the human imagination, embodying our hopes, fears, and fascination with the unknown. Their stories continue to captivate and inspire, reminding us of the enduring power of folklore and the mysteries that lie just beyond the edge of our understanding.